Hey guys, I wanted to go ahead and do a review on these Keystone Cricket length of pole spacers. I didn't really see any YouTube videos about them, and even though they're a pretty simple product, I still would like to have some sort of review out in the marketplace for them. So I recently purchased two Crickett rifles. I've got one here for my nephew and one for my niece. My niece has the pink one, nephew has the tan one. I think the camera's making it look a little darker than it actually is. And as far as these spacers are concerned, I'm a little bit less than enthused with them. Right now I have the spacers actually screwed into the tan one, and then right now they're just sort of sitting there on the pink one, because I wanted to highlight issues on a couple of these here. So I'm going to start with the pink one first, so that way we can sort of look over just general construction and things like that with it. So you can see here sort of how it works is that there's these two spacers that are each 3/4 of an inch long, and that'd be 1.5 inches total for both of them together. The issue that I have here on these is present on both colorations, in that these spacers don't really line up evenly. It's kind of hard to tell. They're not super out of line, but they're just not quite symmetrical, so it'll be like even on one side and then slightly proud on the other side, so they don't really stack up. There's also these kind of weird, it's almost like a little scoopy dip that occurs there. I don't know really how to describe it, as opposed to nice and flat and straight, so they're kind of odd. And specifically on the pink one, I've had some issue, and I don't know if it's going to translate well on camera, but this is a pretty significantly different color of pink. The tan one is much closer to the tan of the stock, but the pink one is quite a bit different. I think the camera's not quite picking it up, but I can assure you that in person they're pretty different on the pink. The other issue, let me move the pink one out of the way here so we can see it on the other one, is once these are actually in place, here's where you can sort of see that scooping kind of effect here, where it doesn't really go flat, it goes sort of up and down a little bit, and then you can see these unevenness that sort of just makes these unattractive sort of ridges here, and then they're not even. So you can see if we shine a light here through it, you can see you can see big gaps of light there from where these just don't sit even, and these are not quite what I would like. I mean, they will work, but I'm probably going to try to find some way to maybe 3D print something that is a little bit better. Just to give you sort of an example of a better type of spacer, if we look at, these are spacers for a Magpul Mossberg 500 stock. You can see they're much more rigid. They have these alignment tabs to keep them laterally in place, for side-to-side movement, and they're perfectly symmetrical on everything. This is a much better way to do these spacers, as opposed to something like this, where they are completely flat. And yeah, I could probably sand these and make them level and get it all squared up, but I don't feel like I should have to do that. They're not a super expensive part. Again, they work, but not as well as I would like. Probably going to have to find something else to replace it. So it is good in the fact that once they're on, it does fit me as an adult size shooter better, obviously, because it is a youth size rifle. I have had a Crickett before with the adult rifle that comes from the factory with the adult stock, and I was never a big fan of that one. The stock is just super thick, and the position of, sort of the grip portion here, part of what I like about the Crickett is this very narrow handiness aspect of it, but the adult size stock only comes in wood, and then this area here is super wide. It's like holding a 2x4. It's just not comfortable at all. So with the spacers on, length of pole is good for an adult size shooter. It's actually usable, but these spacers are not the greatest. They work, but not as elegant of a solution as I would hope. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Have a good day.